Boy is doing crimes at the house.
The baby trap that backfired. Am I the a-hole for proving my boyfriend tried to baby trap me? Now listen, I know that we, just brush so much off our shoulders and just keep moving. But this is a serious situation that warrants them outside involvement. But tell me what you think. Here goes to cautionary tale. I, 29F, was with Marcus, 31M, for 3 years. He was constantly talking about wanting kids, and I was clear I wanted to wait until we were married and financially stable. He said he understood. Then I got pregnant. Marcus was ecstatic. I was confused because I'd been religious about my birth control pills. Something felt wrong. When I mentioned it to my sister, she said to check my pills. I looked closely. Some pills in my pack were different colors, barely noticeable unless you looked carefully. I took them to my pharmacist friend who confirmed they were replaced with aspirin. Someone had tampered with my birth control. I was horrified. I set up a hidden camera in my bathroom and pretended everything was fine. Within 3 days, I caught Marcus on video opening my birth control pack and replacing pills with aspirin from a bottle he kept hidden in his gym bag. I was shaking watching the footage. This man had violated my body, my autonomy, my trust. I could have confronted him, but I wanted him to face real consequences. I went to the police. In my state, reproductive coercion is a crime. I pressed charges. I also called his mother and showed her the video. She was appalled and immediately kicked him out. He'd been living in her basement apartment to save money despite having a good job. The legal process was difficult. I had to relive the violation repeatedly. But Marcus was charged with tampering and assault. He tried to claim I wanted to get pregnant and was lying. But the video was clear, and my medical records showed I'd consistently asked about birth control options. See, this type of thing is called DARVA. Where are they? Deflect and reverse the victim and offender roles just to make you look crazy. And haven't we heard that quite a bit? Oh, she's crazy, she's crazy. He was convicted and had to serve time. He lost his job in pharmaceutical sales. The irony. His friends abandoned him when they learned what he'd done. His own sister testified against him about his obsession with continuing the family line. As for the pregnancy, I made the choice that was right for me. I'm not sharing that detail because it's not relevant to his crime. Today, I'm a reproductive rights advocate. I share my story to help other women recognize coercion. I'm in therapy, healing, and dating someone who respects my choices completely. Sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel is really a bright light, and not a train coming. Marcus got out last year. He has to register as a sex offender in some jurisdictions for reproductive coercion. His dating life is non-existent. His family won't speak to him. He destroyed his own life by trying to control mine. And I know some people get caught up so much in the moment that they forget that they're legally liable for the things that they do. But what do you think about him? Tampering with my birth control? Go ahead, drop your thoughts. And let's continue this conversation because it's very important. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and share. The professor's pop quiz didn't go as well as he had planned. Am I the a-hole for facilitating getting my professor boyfriend fired? I, 26F, was a graduate student when I met Professor Richard, 38M. He wasn't my professor, different department. We dated for 2 years. He was intellectual, respected, and I felt so mature being with him. Then I discovered he had a pattern. He'd dated multiple grad students before me, always someone young and impressed by his credentials. He'd love bomb them, then grow controlling. I found emails where he'd reported previous girlfriends to their departments for academic integrity violations when they tried to leave him, destroying their careers. And you can only imagine how shocked I was when I found the info, just slow down, dirty guy. None of it was true, but the investigations alone ruined their reputations. When I tried to break up, he threatened the same. He had connections. He'd make sure I never got my PhD, never got published, never worked in academia. I was terrified because I'd worked so hard for 8 years of higher education. So I became a researcher in the truest sense. I contacted his ex-girlfriends, 5 women over 12 years. I documented everything. His threats, his pattern, his abuse of power. One woman had saved recordings. Another had emails from him admitting he'd lied to her department. I compiled it all into a formal complaint to the University Title IX office, the Board of Trustees, and anonymously sent it to the student newspaper. The investigation was fast and brutal. More women came forward. His department chair, a woman he'd once sabotaged, personally oversaw his termination. Richard tried to blacklist me, but the university protected me. They offered me a scholarship and a research position. His threats were empty. He had no power anymore. He was fired, lost his tenure, and couldn't get work at any reputable institution. His published papers were reviewed and some were retracted for ethical violations. His marriage, yes, he was married, I found out during my research, ended. His wife took everything. I finished my PhD with honors. I'm now a professor myself, and I make sure my students know they can report abuses of power safely. I run a mentorship program for young women in academia. Richard teaches at a community college now, and I hear he's heavily monitored. Did I ruin his career? Yes, but he'd ruined 5 women's careers before me and was planning a 6th. Let's all get completely sane about how diabolical this man's mind was, and the fact that, if you're with someone like that, you do not owe them loyalty. But you must do your research, line all your ducks up quietly, and make your moves. Sometimes revenge is just justice with evidence. Now, is this something as a cautionary tale that you relate to? Because if so, tell me about your experience, even if it was a small one, and, don't forget to like, comment, and share.
The thief is now busted and disgusted.
The influencer's filter failure. Am I the a-hole for revealing my boyfriend was catfishing as me? I know the nerve, right? Geez, this is a crazy one. I, 25F, am a successful lifestyle influencer with about 800K followers. I make great money through sponsorships and my own product line. My boyfriend Tyler, 27M, was always supportive, or so I thought. And now I gotta take you guys into the weeds with me on how this whole thing happened. I started noticing weird interactions. Brands would message me about conversations I never had. Followers would reference DMs I never sent. I thought my account was hacked, and it was by that moron, but my passwords were unchanged and I had two-factor authentication. Then a subscriber to my Patreon sent me a screenshot. Someone was running a fake exclusive account, using my photos, and engaging in inappropriate conversations with my fans. Some were explicit. They were charging people for personal content that didn't exist. The account had 50K followers who thought it was my private account. I investigated and discovered the email used to create the account. It was Tyler's old email from college. I checked his laptop while he was showering. Yes, I know, invasion of privacy, but I was desperate. And maybe later on, we'll have a discussion about invasion of privacy. Because maybe sometimes you gotta. He'd been running this fake account for 6 months, all the while smiling in my face and sleeping with me. Guys, making thousands of dollars. And when people asked for video proof it was me, he'd make excuses or send heavily edited clips using AI face swap technology with my face on random bodies. He was scamming my fans and destroying my reputation. Some of the messages promised meetups that never happened. Oh boy, this was going to be thick to unravel. People had paid him hundreds of dollars. I documented everything. Then I went nuclear. I posted a video on my main account explaining exactly what happened, showing proof with Tyler's face blurred, at first. I apologized to everyone affected and promised refunds from my own pocket for anyone scammed. I filed a police report for identity theft and fraud. I contacted a lawyer. The video went viral. News outlets picked it up. Tyler tried to deny it until I posted the unblurred evidence. His employer saw it and fired him for moral turpitude. He worked in banking. His friends abandoned him. His family was humiliated. But here's the best part. My followers rallied around me. My following grew to 1.2 million. No, I say that would be super nice. Can y'all help with that? Because people respected how I handled it, I was okay, and I'm really thankful for that. Brands loved my transparency. I turned a nightmare into a case study in crisis management. Tyler was charged with identity theft and fraud. He pled guilty to avoid jail time, but has to pay restitution to everyone he scammed, over $45,000. He's broke, unemployed, and living with his parents. He can't even keep a social media account without getting recognized and dragged. I'm thriving. I wrote an ebook about protecting your digital identity that became a bestseller. I'm dating a cybersecurity expert who thinks my response was legendary. And I make sure everyone knows. Mess with me, and I'll make sure the internet never forgets. And basically, that's how we all need to approach it, because you've got to stop people in their tracks, and a good job was done here of it. So guys, what do you think of this story? It could happen to anybody, but what do you take from it? And how would you have handled it? Go ahead and join the conversation, and don't forget to drop comments down below and like, comment, and share.
Chef's kiss, don't ruin it.
The chef's secret ingredient ATA for destroying my boyfriend's restaurant career? And I just need to say that it was built off of my back, not his okay. Let's proceed. I, 31F, am a trained chef. I met Andre, 35M, at culinary school. We bonded over our passion for food and opened a restaurant together 5 years ago. It was my concept, my recipes, my family's investment of 200K. Andre was supposed to be my partner in every sense. The restaurant became critically acclaimed. We got written up in major food magazines. We were nominated for a James Beard Award. Then Andre started taking all the credit. In interviews, he'd call himself the chef and refer to me as his sous chef or the pastry chef. My signature dishes became his creations. Oh yes, y'all know I was super ticked off, but I was keeping my cool for my next move. I tried talking to him. He said it was better for business to have one clear face of the restaurant. He promised we were a team. I wanted to believe him. Wow, and then to my face, he told me that BS, I could not believe it. Then I overheard him at a food festival. He was talking to investors about opening a second location and explicitly said he was looking to remove the dead weight, and that I was just riding his coattails. He'd been telling people I was his girlfriend who helped out, not his equal partner and the actual creative force. I smiled through that day. Then I went to war. I contacted our lawyer and discovered Andre had been trying to restructure our partnership agreement behind my back to push me out. I gathered every piece of evidence, original recipes in my handwriting, emails showing my concepts, photographs of my menu planning, testimony from our staff about who actually created what. Then I called in favors. I reached out to every food critic, every magazine that had featured us, and told them the truth with documentation. I posted on social media showing the reality. I was the head chef. He was the face I'd allowed to represent us. The response was overwhelming. Food journalists were furious they'd been misled. Our James Beard nomination was revised to list me as the primary chef. Critics came back for re-reviews and specifically credited me. I offered to buy Andre out at fair market value for his actual contribution. He refused, thinking he had leverage, so I stopped cooking my recipes. I came in every day and cooked only standard French cuisine. Competent but unremarkable. The food was fine, but it wasn't special anymore. Within 3 weeks, our ratings dropped. Customers complained. Andre panicked and tried to recreate my dishes, but he didn't actually know how. Haha, laughing out loud checkmate on him. He'd never paid attention to the details. His versions were mediocre. I let it hurt for 2 months. Then I made my move. I offered again to buy him out, this time at a reduced price because the business had declined. He had no choice. He took it. I renovated, reopened under a new name with my name prominently displayed, and brought back my real menu. The critics raved. We got our James Beard Award. I've since opened 3 more locations and published a cookbook. Andre? He tried to open his own place. It closed within a year. He can't get investors because everyone in the industry knows what he did. Last I heard, he's working as a line cook in someone else's kitchen. I didn't just win. I reclaimed everything he tried to steal. My reputation, my creativity, and my legacy. So, what do you guys think? And have you ever run across anybody with this much unmitigated gall because I had not okay? Go ahead and hit me up in the comments, and don't forget to comment and share and help me grow this channel, please.